오케이.
수고하셨습니다.
tapping on me 먼저 껴쳐다보고 지나가지 소금머니 달라보 이제 그렇겠지 그럼 난 물끄러미 아무것도 모른다는 표정을 짓지 tapping on me tapping on me tapping on me tapping on me tapping on me
What is up, everyone? My name is Cali, aka Cali's Jams, and today we are going back into a series that I make on this channel called Album Synopses. As most of you all know by now, I make these types of videos towards certain artists that I love dearly. And typically when I do these types of videos, it is usually when one of my favorite artists releases a new album. But if you would all like me to do my favorite artists' past albums, I would definitely be open to that. Anyways, let's get to the point. You all saw this coming. We are doing an album synopsis on Taeyong's second mini album, Tap. If you would all like some context about who Taeyong is, what his music is like, or just anything else about him, literally watch every single K-pop video I've ever made. Or to be quite frank, I highly suggest you watch my synopsis on his first mini album, Shalala, because we are going to be making a lot of comparisons towards Shalala and Tap. Regardless, Tap is the album that we are going to be analyzing. This mini album consists of 6 tracks, so that is why this video may be a little bit shorter in comparison to the prior synopsis videos I've made. I will also be translating Taeyong's lyrics since they are mostly in Korean, and it may not be entirely accurate, but it will be the closest idea pertaining to the concept of Tap and the themes of each track. So, without further ado, let's dive in and press play to Tap. Feel free to pause the video right here to go get some snacks, a silly little goofy beverage, or anything else or anyone else to keep you company. So, here we go.
I'm like, how's it feel to now be standing up for yourself, representing only you? How's it been?
It's a little bit. I have some pressures, but.
Track 1, Tap. So the track to me is a very good opener, but it is very diverse in comparison to the other tracks. It has a very cutesy, coquette, and just a fun little vibe to it. It honestly reminded me of making memories with the ones you love the most, but I believe Taeyong's intention was to turn this into a love song. To prove this, let's look at the lyrics in verse 1. I grin and say cheese, make a piece, bit of a letdown for ya. Right here is a goodbye kiss. Can't wait up for ya. Gotta save up my energy. TY, could he be any cuter than this? I know, interesting, right? Well, now let's look at verse 2. Yeah, I'm saucin'. Yeah, I'm saucin' on you. That's my favorite part of the song, by the way. Sweet and K-spicy, like a pack of Bim Bim noodles. You addicted, I addicted. I'm swaggin' on you. We like to dance while sweating on the floor, you know? Alright, so let's break these silly little lyrics down. The first 2 verses are very confident, but also very adorable. Whereas within the lyrics in Shalala, it was more of a hard, confident vibe. Either way, this is a song of love and confidence. The lyrics also express human qualities, as Taeyong expresses throughout the song about how he's awkward but is a cute person as well, which can be a very vulnerable thing to do, and to admit for the most part. Oddly speaking, the cutesy and coquette vibes are shown even more, plus the beat surprisingly matches with the concept of tap, which is a very neo-coded thing to do. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. Now, let's look at the second part, aka verses 3 and 4 in Tap. Keep tapping on me, I'm typing to you, that quickening tempo. Know too well about your type, only you are my hype girl. Check my new world, don't need manuals, follow what you want to do. Then verse 4 are basically the same words as verse 2. However, you notice how Taeyong is now addressing someone he is in love with. Whether that is the fans or a certain person he wrote the song about, the purpose of a love song comes into light with those verses. Now, to travel back into the sound. I love how the song stays in a bright tone with technological saw leads, aka deep synths. Honestly, I couldn't help but smile at this track, yet Shalala, in my opinion, will always be top tier. Nevertheless, Tap is a song to lighten the mood and make you dance, or just generally be high on life and love. After all, it is good medicine.
tapping on me 먼저 쳐다보고 지나가지 소금머니 달라보 이제 그렇겠지 그럼 난 물끄러미 아무것도 모른다는 표정을 짓지 tapping on me 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 tap yeah.
Track 2, Moon Tour. Moon Tour has got to be my favorite track out of the entire album because it's super angelic, ethereal, sentimental, and just flat out beautiful. So, to describe Moon Tour, the song begins with a telecommunication coming from a spaceship, possibly an astronaut or a space station or Taeyong's producer Squar making a sound that sounds exactly so. Then a mesmerizing piano welcomes you into the song with a big impacted sound effect. Then after 15 seconds, the song begins. And trust me, when I tell you you will feel like you are being transported into heaven, you really will when Taeyong sings to you. Fun fact, I heard the song before. Matter of factly, it was during the production of Shalala, because Taeyong released a tidbit of this song on his Instagram. At the time, I thought this was going to be his new song Fine, but the song Fine was a completely different sound. So then I thought this mystery song would be released in Shalala. Boy, was I wrong. And boy, Taeyong timed this song perfectly. Because once I heard that first line of the chorus, that memory of Taeyong sharing that 10-second tidbit transported me into a place of pure elation and joy. As he sings, "You and I embark on a moon tour." And once I kept listening to this song over and over again, I realized how profound Moon Tour really is. As the chorus keeps writing, "A minute stretches like hours, you possess solar power, we bathe in starlight, this is my golden hour." You could tell it how deep Taeyong really wanted to go with this track. It is honestly love poetry and deep internal connection in its purest form. And a lot of the time, artists will use that form towards ethereal concepts, and in this case, Taeyong used the moon as an example, which I believe is the perfect choice. This song is for a special someone, as the lyrics and sounds combined make that come to life. But I wanted to share with you my favorite lyrical part in the entire song, because I really think it captures the essence of Moon Tour. It says, "So let's go on a moon tour, the day you've eagerly awaited. Even when this tour concludes, I'll still love you to the moon and back, like eternal sunlight, facing each other. Let's remember this moment now." So, by the word tour, it is the fantasy element of falling in love, which is being on the moon. The day you've eagerly awaited, a lyric meaning of how you've waited for a special moment with someone. I'll still love you to the moon and back, like eternal sunlight. One of the most beautiful similes I've ever heard in music. So, to conclude the analysis of Moon Tour, it is not just my favorite for the lyrics and sound alone, but the majestic energy it brings. And I hope that does the same for you as you listen to this track. Just truly bask in the moment and let your heart go to its most pure places possible, because that is honestly the core of Moon Tour. Track 3, Runaway. From a cute concept like Tap to a deep serenade such as Moon Tour, we now move into Runaway. This track is what I like to call the badass anime opener song, because that is exactly what it sounds like. The lyrics and the sound complement each other with that notion as well. The lyrics especially tell that typical anime story where the main character feels purposeless, then finds someone that fulfills that purpose. As the first part of the song writes, "Why should I? I don't know if it's like this. I feel empty in my heart. The more I understand my emptiness, I feel a sense of distance." To the end of the song where it says, "What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Don't tickle someone else's face. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I'm so curious about you." For the theme of this track, I would not say that it means finding a purpose in someone, but being curious about it. Because Taeyong writes it how he feels that, even though he is curious. Because he's afraid of everything falling apart again. You can also notice how he keeps fighting with himself as he parties and drinks, stating, "Everything, yeah, because of you. Yeah, I sipped a few. Yeah, it's kinda new. I feel a little cool. Yeah, because of you. Yeah, because of you." Then sobering up with lyrics like, run away, let's never meet again, run away. It's obvious that everything will repeat itself again. Run away, you only leave me with pain." I think we can all relate to these types of feelings similar to runaway. That feeling of how you like someone but you are fearful, or you know how it will end and it will not be pretty. But you cannot resist the temptation of loving someone, even if they hurt you. But as we go further into the Tap album, we can kind of see a picture as to what path Taeyong chose. Either way, I think Runaway is just a beautifully imperfect song. It just feels like as if you're fighting with yourself, and I also think that is so vulnerable, just like how we said about Tap. So let's keep going into this album with the next track, Ape. Track 4, Ape. Even though I said that Moon Tour is my favorite song off the album, Ape is definitely close in line. Because, oh my god, this track is diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. It's sexy, it's bold, it's fearless, and like, dude, how can Taeyong write about vaping, wearing Bape, and making it sound cool? Like, all of those concepts are so cringy to me, but he can pull it off. And regardless, Ape is just that bitch, okay? Like, just that bitch. Anyways, to observe, Ape is a song of taking ownership of yourself, even amidst your insecurities, and you immediately brush that off your shoulders and move on. And to be frank, this is like a continuation of Shalala, or its lost sibling in a sense, because they both have the same elements. Also, let's not forget this one lyric Taeyong wrote to prove it how authentic he really is. It writes, "I don't sell my soul. Even if it's getting boring, I can't give up." That is true determination right there, especially when staying true to yourself amidst in the music industry. But now begs the question, why does Taeyong compare himself to an ape? Is it due to evolution, a simple ape character he studied? What could it be? Well, I might have the answer, which is in the outro of the song, because it writes, I'm an ape, yeah. I don't think about anything, yeah. Sometimes like this, until I feel comfortable. I even space out, yeah. This speed is too complicated. I'm old enough to make decisions. Too much, the words of people with a lot of money, temptations that seem to be mixed with sweetness. When you embrace me, I'm an ape, yeah. I don't think about anything, yeah. Sometimes like this, until I feel comfortable. I even space out, yeah. There are many things I want to do. This wasn't my dream, so empty my stomach again. I'm going my way again. So, long story short, Taeyong feels like an ape because of his music career and his life as a whole. Additionally, it can also mean how independent he wants to be as a K-pop idol, and K-pop idols a lot of the time go under strict schedules by doing shows, practices, recordings, etc. And since Taeyong has been in the game for 10 years, he has gone under situations where you are overly tired, tempted, and spaced out, and in my opinion, very used. That is why he's an ape, and in a sense, we all are apes. If you truly think about it, we fall under temptations, out of control spaces, and other scenarios of that nature. Nonetheless, I think it's a very powerful move for an artist like Taeyong to be true to himself and truly state that he will not please others just for their own gain, but rather for himself. And that is why he keeps making music. Track 5, Ups and Downs. Now, I know I've said the word vulnerable a lot as we keep talking about Tap, but I really think that Tap is a lot more vulnerable than Shalala, because Ups and Downs is a vulnerable track of his many works, yet it stands out. It sounds endearing to the ears, but the lyrics are quite sad. For example, there's a lot of lyrics that ties back to the word meaningless and questions as to why Taeyong is being held back. Now, due to the fact that this song is very subjective in meaning, it could mean many things. It could be that the ups and downs are a general mental health issue, or anything of that sort. But in Taeyong's perspective, this has to be about someone. And the reason why I believe this is because of the words of how he states specific situations on the person he talks about. For example, you with someone else. You introduce your family like you did to me. You must be sharing your feelings in the same space, just like you did with me. Trust issues. Loving you is dumb. Trust issues. Loving you is cheap. Whatever words they may be, whatever things they may be, I have to put myself back in jail. I call my blue again. Through the ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs, meaningless. So clearly, this is a song about heartbreak, and in my opinion, maybe a part 2 to Runaway, since the lyrics are very similar to Ups and Downs. As I've said, I told you there could be a potential part 2 and a potential path that Taeyong took in Runaway, of falling back in love with the same person or getting heartbroken again. But now, Ups and Downs is in a much darker space, echoing and remembering haptic memories in which the person you used to love is doing the same as you did with someone new. And the memories just keep cycling and looping as the present moves forward. So now this begs the question if the last track will end on a sad note more than a positive one. Well, let us dive into the last track to find out. Track 6, 404 Loading. To better understand this last track, we are going to compare 404 Loading to 404 File Not Found in Shalala. So, I highly suggest that if you did not see my Shalala synopsis, stop what you're doing and go to the 404 File Not Found part. God, that is so hard to say. Anyways, so for context, 404 Loading is a part 2 to 404 File Not Found, as confirmed by Taeyong's producer Zason, which he liked my comment on Instagram about Tap, so I'm still freaking out about that. 404 Loading starts with the ending of 404 File Not Found, which states, I keep it hunted, I keep it new, I'm always looking for something new. And, let's dream with me, this night floating dream, this long dream. So now, for the comparison. 404 File Not Found was the shadow to 404 Loading's lyrics. It continues with that concept of how us fans are the shining light for Taeyong, and in a more motivational sense, to keep him going. Lyrically speaking, 404 File Not Found is much darker, as it dives into rough topics about insecurities, depression, etc. But through that suffering, Taeyong made it clear that 404 File Not Found was made for the fans. So when 404 Loading comes into play, it is that story of the fans coming along with him. And we're falling into that music and his character blindly as he writes in the chorus, 100 miles an hour, driving with no headlights, speeding down the open road, staying out of sight. In addition to this, Taeyong states the themes for his fans a little more towards the end of the song as he sings, let's go anywhere, since I found you, don't load, now we start, which could imply that the vision he has of his fans is that specific file loading. And if that file loads, the vision and the fantasy will be gone. But that also could be a message to us that we should never let go of Taeyong and his music, and never let go of his character, the inspiration, and the impact that he had on us. So, to conclude about 404 Loading, I think it leaves a much brighter note and just a good goodbye message. Because in 404 File Not Found, it's more of a darker reminiscence about how he will be there for us, but he is going to go through a lot. And now with this one, he's sort of like, I'm ready to overcome what I need to overcome. And lastly, I think he also wants us to not be afraid with our lives and whatever pain that we go through, and to also step into the light with ease and enjoy every single moment and simply just dream.
에서는 내가 할 말을 다 못해서 내가 아쉬워하면서 나왔던 지금 다 해.
그럼 지금 시작을 먼저 하자.
내가 먼저 시작.
We have officially reached the end of the Tap album synopsis. Thank you all so much for listening and watching this video. It was a pleasure putting this video together, as I really love making these types of videos. A lot. Especially an album like Tap, and I hope you all feel the same way about it. Feel free to comment below any feedback, constructive criticism, or other things you would like to share. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, K-pop, music, and IRL content. As for me, I will be on my way, so take good care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. And don't forget to tap. Okay, goodbye.
Don't be afraid.